Hey guys, Alec, Peirce at the ranch with another idea. It might be useful for you. You've all seen my garage in some of my previous videos. I got a beautiful garage. And very recently we did a video on my new garage floor. I'm so pleased with it. They ground down the old cement and they put a new epoxy coating on with anti-slip. Just a beautiful floor. I love this floor. However, I still have another problem that existed before. Now it's even worse because, of course, they ground the floor down a little bit. So you see that there's a crack down there. When I bring the roller door down to the very bottom, it leaves a good-sized crack. That door faces east. So when we have an east wind, not too often, and when we have an east wind with rain, not too often, it blows right in. Plus in the wintertime, of course, snow is going to pile up and melt. And I don't want that stuff coming into the garage. So I need to put a garage door seal on. Whoop-de-doo, that's not a big problem. The garage door came with a seal. And you can buy a replacement seal for it, but I want a good seal. It was never perfect before. Often the door would come down, it would seal, and then water would get into the rubber seal. And the water would freeze. It would freeze to the ground. They open the door and it rips it off. It just wasn't very good. Now you may or may not know how that works, but on the bottom of the garage door, there's something like this. Can you take a close-up with this, Kevin? Time for a drink? You see this is just aluminum plate that screws to the bottom of the door. But if you look close at the end of the plate, can I hold that still there, Kevin? You see there's two slots, one on each side where my fingers are. There's two T-shaped slots. Okay, so this fastens to the bottom of the door all the way across, 16 feet. And then into those two slots, you slide this. This is just a flat rubber sleeve, you see? Like that. And this flat rubber sleeve has a rubber T on each side, and it slides in like that. Maybe that's the best picture right there, Kevin. You see that? So they just slide into those two slots. And then technically, you got it? Technically, what happens is this comes down. This is on the bottom of the door, and this comes down to the floor and compresses against the floor. And it has worked reasonably well in the past, but far from perfect. And as I said, water leaked in, the water froze, it froze to the floor, and it's just far from perfect. The other thing, if you'll notice down here, Kevin, again, at the corners, seal is not perfect, but it's not too bad. In the middle, gosh, this is about 3/4 of an inch. So it's not an even gap along there either. So I was concerned about just replacing the old seal that I pulled off with the same seal. I knew it wouldn't last. I knew it wouldn't do a good job. So I researched, spent a lot of time, and I found this. Aha! There's a seal. First of all, it's much, much wider. It's 4 inches wide instead of 2.5, 3. And secondly, if you look closely, you'll see that this rubber seal has attached right in the middle a rubber tube. It's almost like garden hose. I actually toyed with the idea of getting a regular flat rubber seal and putting a piece of rubber garden hose in it, but this was pretty cheap. So I bought this. Now what happens, you fold this up like this, you see, and you slide these into that same track, and you got your rubber seal, your U-shaped rubber seal. But inside that is that soft rubber tubing. It looks like this. Here we go again, Kevin. Zoom in here. So when it's installed in the track, it looks like this. I'll hold still now. See that? Can you see in there, Kev? Can you see the rubber tube inside? So now when the door comes down, it pushes, and halfway down, it hits the rubber tube. And then it has to compress the rubber tube like that. Point is that this exerts more pressure on the floor. If the gap is small there and large there, this will help to push the rubber seal down tight to the floor and stop water from coming in. Now, while I was researching, I bumped into another neat idea, okay? So this is door seal, goes on the bottom of the door. The door comes down and this seal pushes against the floor. Aha, look at this. You can buy this stuff, quite common. It is a garage door seal, I guess. I don't know, I'm not sure what the name is, but look at this. This is also a strip of rubber, and you get them any length. My door is 16 feet. You buy them in 20s and make them fit. Can you see what this is, Kevin? It's a flat piece of rubber, ribs on the bottom, okay, and then I'm going to get the profile. You see what the profile is on the side? There's a wide slope here, a bit of a bump, and a narrow slope over here. Okay, so Simple. You cut this to exactly the right length. You put the new seal on the door, drop the door down, and mark the edge of the new seal on the floor. Roll the door back up, and then you lay this along that mark with epoxy, or not epoxy, silicone sealant, but lots of silicone, and then this goes down. And then you bring the door back down on it and leave it for 2 days. This becomes permanent to the garage floor. So now that new rubber seal that I found will come down. It'll actually come down right on here. Let me see if I can show you. This will actually come down onto that slopey, is that a word, Kevin? Okay, so this is on the garage floor. This is on the door. The door now comes down onto that wide section, just on the outside of that little ridge right there. You see that? So now we got rubber pushing on rubber, plus there's a ridge behind. My floor is going to be dry all winter long. Be no problem whatsoever. The rubber seal with the tube inside and the floor seal, yeah, it's going to be great. Anyway, if you guys are having the same problem, water coming in under your garage door, your roll-up garage door, take a look. Might be an idea in there for you. Easy to install. Screw the track on, slide the stuff in. Very easy. Okay, there you go. Just got some great ideas that I'm working with. I thought I'd share them with you. Hope there's something there for you. Alec Peirce at the Wrench. Talk to you soon.